All right, what's going on? We're back at it once again. Got my guy Brady with me on the set.
Hello.
We had such a great podcast the other day, so I wanted to have him come back and we run it back with something else that he can share with us, with me, as well as our viewers. Hope you guys are doing well. Today is going to be great once again. You know, they're always great, but tonight I want to talk about, well, in this month of July, I did a podcast on success, you know, how to handle success. Then I also did another podcast on dealing with failure or setbacks. And the thing is, because we're still in the month of July, I want to stay in that vein, but attack it from a different angle, okay? So success and failure can have one thing in common, most of the time. If you're successful, that means you did something to achieve a level of success. Notice I said you did something, okay? When you fail at something, you're not a failure, but when you fail at something, most of the time that means you stepped out and did something and it didn't work, right, Brady?
Correct.
So now there's sometimes people fail because they don't do anything, you know? But most of the times we maybe tried our best or did something and it just didn't work out. Or maybe we made the wrong decision, but you did make a decision. So, but one thing that success and failure can have in common is the fact that you did step out and you did try. Okay, so tonight I'm gonna have Brady. Brady's gonna share some things, share a couple stories that kind of lend to this idea of success and failure and stepping out and taking risks. Okay, so Brady, you wanna share some things here with the viewers?
So hello everybody. Like I said, I just graduated college, Kutztown University with a film degree this past semester in the spring. So with that being said, you know, college, I've had a lot of experiences with, you know, producing stuff and coming together as a group to make productions and create cool stuff to show to all you guys out there. But with that being said, there's been a lot of experiences where I've definitely messed up. I was in a class called Between the Lines, which is a sports class that we made a TV show every week, basically, around Kutztown University for sports. So I actually stepped out of my boundaries, and I was a host for a segment called Halftime, where I would go around to each sport team and basically try to play their sport. And I'd be recorded. I'd film, or they would film me trying to play that person's sport, which they're professional at, and I'd be pretty terrible at. And at the end of the whole video, I would try to go against them 1v1 in their sport. Well, it was the first week of recording, you know, brand new out of this. We all forgot memory cards. Nobody brought memory cards. And we were recording with the football team, which was, they were very angry at us. They're very big guys on the football team, and to see a bunch of, you know, newbies try to record them with no memory cards, it was very embarrassing to say, because we had to schedule this whole thing out. It was a little bit embarrassing.
Hello, welcome to the first edition of Halftime from Between the Lines. I'm your host, Brady Weaver, and today on the show we have wide receiver Diego and linebacker Twy Neat showing me how to play some football. Let's get started. So first off, Diego's going to teach me a couple things about route running. What are you trying to teach me today?
Just going to teach you the basics, slants, out routes, some deep balls, just something simple.
All right, let's see how that goes.
All right, so slant route, you want to take 4 steps and then playing with your outside foot hard, get it across the cornerback's face, catch it with your hands, get upfield.
Cool. All right, let's try it. That was great.
So I had to run as fast as I could back to my college dorm and pick up all the memory cards, and you know, we started about half an hour late. So that was a that was an experience that I would never do again until until today, actually.
Yeah.
Where I forgot a memory card. But you know, like that being said, you know, without stepping out of my boundaries and doing this class and doing the hosting for the segment, I would never have these experiences that would lead me to grow as a human being and grow as a professional in this major. There's also been numerous amount of times where I've done editing for classes and I've done these corny transitions where I've gotten yelled at by professors after being shown to the whole class that these transitions are never supposed to be used in like cinema history, and the only time they used it was in Star Wars, and that's the only time that's allowed to be actually used in any sort of cinema. But I thought it was the greatest thing ever, of course.
Okay.
Bring your knee up.
Okay. Ooh. All right.
Butt kicks.
Oh, butt kicks. Yes. Ooh, 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 ooh.
You feel warmed up?
Oh, I sure do. So, are there any sort of like breathing techniques that I should?
So I learned from that. There's a whole bunch of different experiences that you go through that you pick up on small things, and those small things build up into bigger things that lead you into a better person. Over the several years you've been into it. So, yeah.
Wow, Brady, I heard a phrase once, and I think I shared this before.
Mm-hmm.
I've shared a lot over this past year.
Of course.
I heard this phrase. It's success is failure turned inside out.
Of course.
Success is failure turned inside out. And so you would not have achieved the level of success that you had in college and even beyond had you not taken risks, had you not fell on your face,
Yeah.
had
Exactly.
you not, made some mistakes here and there. Because the mistakes, one thing we do is we learn from it, one thing, we learn from mistakes. But another thing too is mistakes allow you to find out what doesn't work too. They allow you to, so A didn't work. So now through a process of elimination, now I'm left with B and C. And this is an example.
Exactly.
But, you have to be willing to take the risk and fail in order to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You have to take the risk to fail in order to succeed. And a lot of times people stay in their comfort zone because of fear of failure.
Mm-hmm.
Some people want to do things and accomplish things, but because of if they fail or what it will look like, their image, having to deal with loss, all these emotions go through our head, so we kind of just stay in our little shell.
Bingo.
A lot of people do that.
Mm-hmm.
I was always the type that would step out too. I was like that. I would step out, something I want to do or accomplish. I didn't think twice if I would fail or not. I would just do it.
Mm-hmm.
So were you like that, Brady, or do you have something to lend to that, or?
Of course. Yeah, I was always that kind of person to step out to an extent, basically.
Okay.
If I was passionate about it, I would step out.
Right.
I'm very selective on what I do. I'm a very selective person. Stuff like this, stuff that what we're doing right now, like I'm very dedicated in it.
Yeah.
I want to share it to everybody. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I want to say you've done great work too, Brady.
Thank you.
The things you've done, man, like the podcast, the editing. I get comments from people. Somebody texted me a few days ago about one of the podcasts they were talking about. It was great editing.
Oh.
So like
Thank you.
for people, for people to say that, to acknowledge that about a podcast or a film or whatever you see on TV, that means it stood out for somebody to comment about it. You just don't every day comment, oh, the editing was great.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like so it had to stand out. So I just want to highlight you with that because you have done a tremendous job. So definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, so what we're saying, we're gonna wrap up here. You know, don't be afraid to step out. You know, even if you don't know all the answers, even if you don't have all the resources, okay, step out. Don't be afraid to step out. You don't have to have everything in place in order to take the first step. Sometimes we want to have everything in place. Okay, we want to have everything in place so that before we move. Sometimes life doesn't happen like that. You got to step first and then you figure it out. Step another step, then you figure it out. So just want to encourage you with that tonight. Thank you for tuning in. Definitely appreciate you. You guys have been great. Leave some comments. All right. Always remember, you're destined for greatness, and we'll see you next time.